You need money, not someday money. The transmission on your own car just exploded in a Wendy's drive-thru of money. You have $400 to your name, a phone with a cracked screen, and a cousin who is tired of your texts. But you also have one idea. The guy 3 houses down bought a beat-up Civic for almost nothing, spent a weekend on it, and sold it 2 weeks later for way more than he paid. That's it. That's the whole trick. Buy low, clean it up, sell high. People do it every single day, completely legally, and go to bed rich and happy. So how hard could it possibly be? This is every level of flipping cars, from a $400 bank account to a number with way too many zeros, and the exact moment it stops being a side hustle and starts being a federal problem. Level 1. The first flip. You find it on Marketplace at 11 at night, an '04 sedan, runs okay, needs a little love, $900. You empty your account, guilt your cousin into covering the rest, and hand a stranger a fistful of cash in a gas station parking lot. Congratulations, you are now officially in the car business and officially broke. You spend the whole weekend on it. New wiper blades, a detail job you do yourself with rags, a toothbrush, and a rented carpet shampooer, and one single Pine Tree air freshener that you believe deep in your soul adds $200 of pure value. You take 11 photos in the good afternoon light. You write the sacred words, runs great, clean title, first come, first served, no lowballers. A guy named Dave shows up, kicks a tire like he knows what that does, and drives off in your car. You just flipped your first car for $1,600, $500 of profit. It is the single greatest day of your life. You are clearly a genius. Level 2. The grind. One flip was luck. Now you want a system. You take your $500, add every other dollar you can scrape, and start buying anything with 4 wheels and a sad price. Over 1 month, you buy 3 more cars for $3,300 total. Your weekends disappear. You learn things. You learn that minor electrical issue means the car is haunted. You learn that everyone's grandmother barely drove it. You learn to nod slowly and say, "I'll give you cash today," like a man who has options. You get better photos, better wax, a better air freshener strategy, and one by one they sell $5,700 across the 3, almost $3,000 from a driveway in a month. You start using the word portfolio. You start looking at every parked car in town like it owes you money. Level 3, the driveway lot. 3 cars was cute. You go bigger. You take your whole portfolio and buy 6 cars in a single week, $11,000 gone. Your driveway is now a dealership. Your front lawn is now a dealership. The strip of grass by the mailbox, also somehow a dealership. Your neighbors have questions. Your homeowners association has a letter, and the letter has a fine, and the fine has a very specific tone. You do not care because you are moving units. 6 cars, cleaned, photographed, flipped, $17,500, nearly $10,000 in the bank. You buy yourself a real pressure washer as a treat. You feel unstoppable. You have also quietly started selling more cars than a normal human being is legally allowed to sell without a license. But nobody's mentioned that yet, so it isn't real yet. Level 4, curbstoning. Here's the thing nobody told you. Sell more than a handful of cars a year without a dealer's license, and you're not a hobbyist anymore. You're curbstoning, and it's illegal. The fix, obviously, is not to get a license. The fix is to spread the cars out. This one's registered under your cousin's name. That one's under your buddy from work. This one's technically owned by a man named Terrence, who you're pretty sure is your neighbor's uncle. You lean all the way in. 12 cars this cycle, $22,000. You've got listings in 3 towns and a burner number that only rings for car people. You are, on paper, 7 different casual private sellers who all coincidentally use the same driveway. 12 cars move, $38,000 comes back, $25,000. You just crossed the line from guy with a hobby to guy the DMV would very much like to talk to. You feel great about it. Level 5, title jumping. You notice you're bleeding money on fees and taxes every time you put a car in your name and then take it right back out, so you just stop putting them in your name. The title comes in signed and blank, and you sign it over to the next buyer without your name ever touching it. It floats. The taxes never get paid. The paperwork trail gets fuzzy. You save a few hundred to a few thousand per car, and you do it on volume. More inventory, more floating titles, more, don't worry about the date, just sign here. It is spectacularly illegal, and it is spectacularly efficient. The cars pour through you like water. $52,000 comes back this cycle, $48,000. You have not filled out a single honest form in weeks, and you have never felt more like a businessman. Level 6, the rollback. Every car is worth more with fewer miles on it. That's just math. And you happen to meet a guy, no last name, just a laptop and a little handheld gadget, who can make 180,000 miles quietly become 89,000. You do not ask how, you do not want to know how. You just watch the odometer change its mind. It's a federal crime with the word felony attached, and it adds about $3,000 of value to every single car. You buy a batch of high mileage cars nobody else wants, $25,000, because you know a secret. The gadget does its thing. Suddenly your tired old commuters are low mileage gems. They fly off the lawn, $69,000 back, $92,000. Each car you sell now is a small lie with a steering wheel, and you have gotten very comfortable telling it. Level 7, title washing. Now you go hunting at the salvage auctions. Flooded cars, totaled cars, cars an insurance company already declared dead. They cost pennies because their titles are branded salvage, which scares off normal buyers. But titles, it turns out, are just paper, and paper can take a little trip through a friendlier state and come back clean. The salvage word simply isn't there anymore. You don't ask which state, you don't ask why it works, you just mail it dirty and it comes home shiny. You bet the whole company on it. $130,000 of wrecks. For a few days you're in the red and slightly sweaty, then the washed titles come back. The drowned cars get detailed until they smell like new, and you sell them to families as clean, one owner, no accidents. $200,000, 162 grand. You have started selling people cars that have technically already died once. You tell yourself they're basically fine. You're becoming very good at telling yourself things. Level 8, the fake dealership. Running a criminal empire out of your lawn is starting to look suspicious, so you go legit, cosmetically. You rent a gravel lot on the edge of town, string up some triangle flags, and hang a banner, Honest Deals Auto. The irony is free. You've got a little trailer office, a fake potted plant, and a smile you practice in the mirror. Behind the smile, it's the same operation, just bigger and better dressed. Straw buyers, names that aren't names, titles that float, odometers that dream. You fill the lot, $90,000 of inventory, but now you look official, so people trust you, and trust sells cars fast. $208,000 roll through honest deals in a single stretch. $280,000. You bought yourself a leather office chair, you point at the banner and call it the brand. Nobody who works for you knows your real last name, including the two guys who now work for you. Level 9, the flood empire. Then a hurricane hits 3 states over, and while everyone else sees a tragedy, you see inventory. The insurance auctions get flooded, literally, with tens of thousands of drowned cars, and they're practically giving them away. You buy a whole shipping container's worth, sight unseen, $120,000. They arrive smelling like a swamp and looking like the ocean's leftovers. But you've got a system now. Dry them, spray them, swap the smell, wash the titles, ship them far away from the disaster where nobody would ever suspect. You sell them one state at a time, to people who just want a reliable car for their kid. $360,000, $500,000. You are now technically profiting off a natural disaster with fraud. Somewhere in the back of your mind, a small voice is screaming, you have turned the radio up. Level 10. This is the line and you sprint straight across it. Cloning. You stop buying cars at all. Instead, a wrecked car's identity, its VIN, its paperwork, its whole story, gets quietly relocated onto a car that is definitely not that car and definitely not yours, and was definitely parked somewhere else this morning. You don't buy the cars anymore. You just receive them and give them a new name. There's no purchase cost now. It's almost all profit and almost all felony. The stolen twins roll out with clean stories and confident prices, $780,000. You have graduated from shady car salesman to a word that ends in tier. You keep a bag packed now by the door, and you tell yourself it's just in case. Level 11, the chop shop. You're not a flipper anymore. You're an operation, a rented warehouse on the industrial edge of town, roller doors, a crew, and a very specific set of tools. Cars come in hot and fast and leave as clean VINs, boxed parts, and problems that no longer exist. You barely touch a wrench yourself now. You wear a jacket with no logo and you manage. The money stops making sense in a good way. Parts and clones and washed titles all flowing at once. You clear another $270,000, $1 million. You crossed $1 million flipping cars if you're extremely generous about the word flipping and extremely quiet about the word stolen. You stare at the number, you don't smile. because a part of you finally understands what the number cost. Level 12, the export pipeline. The country's getting small and hot, so you go international, stolen luxury SUVs, loaded into shipping containers, sailing off to ports on the other side of the world where nobody asks a single question and everybody pays cash. You've got buyers on 3 continents and a guy at the docks who looks the other way for an envelope. The cars leave the country faster than the police reports can follow them. This is the biggest money yet. Container after container gone over the horizon, $850,000, almost $2 million. You have a fake name, a real jet ski, and 3 phones. You tell yourself you're untouchable. You tell yourself you'll stop after just one more shipment. You are, at this exact moment, being watched. Level 13, the knock. It's never the big dramatic thing that gets you, it's small. A buyer overseas asked 3 questions that were a little too specific. A container got flagged at a port you'd used 100 times. A task force you didn't know existed has been quietly building a folder with your fake name and your real face on it for months, 6 in the morning. You're barely awake when the door comes off the hinges. Vests, flashlights, your fake name shouted back at you like a joke everyone's already heard. They seize the warehouse, the lot, every car, every phone, the jet ski, the cash, the house, and then the fun part, forfeiture, plus restitution to every family you sold a drowned death trap to, plus fines with more commas than you knew were allowed. The number doesn't go to 0, it goes straight through it, negative $3.2 million. It took you 8 months to make $2 million and about 8 seconds to owe 3. The last thing you flip is your own hood over your head into the back of a car you don't get to sell. Turns out the fastest way to lose $3 million is to make $2 million first. Buy low, sell high, get caught, same as it ever was.